At BMW, we believe the best way to predict the future is to create it. We created the thrilling future of performance. We created the exciting future of mobility. And now, we're creating the magnificent future of luxury. Come and see tomorrow today. Visit the BMW Pavilion at the Auto Expo.
So Barren Red, this show is about landscaping the internal self as to the external self, and that's what I work with. Most of my works are about dealing with the self in juxtaposition to where you belong, and that's how most of the works have come about. So we're talking about 2-3 different techniques here. Over here itself there are 2 different techniques, and the red is the coral beads that the Tibetans use. It's supposed to be very auspicious. The color red that I use most often in my work is one color for me that's a universal color, red, that works under everybody's skin irrespective of caste, creed and everything. So for me, universally the color that binds everyone together is red, because any living or animal or human being has the color red under their skin. So that's one reason that I use red. Second, it coming from India and a space like this, red has many auspicious meanings in it, from the sindoor to everything else that you use. And as far as the bead technique is concerned, it's something, for example, this canvas has taken 1.5 years to finish with 5 people who've helped me with the white bead work. There's hardly any surface that you can see, it's totally completely done with beads and covered with it. And the red portion is normally done by me, because it's more strategically placed beads. Each thread has around 4 to 5 beads in it. That's how it's done. So when we talk of landscaping the self, for example, the arteries and the veins that you talk of within the self could be like meandering flow of river in blood or whatever, and it could be a cause of violence or terrorism that could be within yourself, beneath your skin, or something that you see and project yourself in society where you live in. And over here, those works that we see are basically works that are mostly maybe the spine, it could be, or the heart or the liver, something, and with the veins and the arteries that are like aerial view of a landscape that one would see. For example, this canvas itself has different techniques that I use. Most of them are indigenous. One of them is the crochet on steel, and this portion itself is something like that. Then we have the bead work, which is karchok work. That's another technique. And again, it's all the aerial view of the landscape that you see, and that's what you're dealing with here. So like most of my works, this is a step forward, I guess. It's a little more surreal in some ways, and I'm talking about the landscape itself, but in different forms now. And here are different layers, like the layers of the skin, the layers of the air, the layers of the earth. So I'm talking of different textures, different layers, and I'm dealing with different materials here. So the whole idea is they could be cords, it could be an umbilical cord, it could be in the intestines, or it could be coming from the body, which could give the sense of that, or it could be something that totally goes off and says meandering river bedsides and sand that could be flowing. So the interpretation is pretty much open to the person who's seeing, and I totally believe that for an artist, like for what I believe in myself, is that the process is important, and that's where I belong, and the viewer kind of is open to the interpretation of how and what they see. Okay, so the work behind me is another work, and the one that was before this. Both have been actually done with the Raj Art Initiative. It's a carpet company that has been there for 75 years, and they took 10 artists there to Panipat, to their factory, and they worked with us. These are just red cords, cotton cords that have been entwined and then kind of stitched and woven in together. I also did for the first time wove steel with it, cotton and all, on a handloom pit loom. So The whole idea was to kind of break the barriers and do something different with them, because they've been doing with those karigars last 75 years a similar kind of work. And again, this whole thing is inspired by the DNA and the whole thing into again landscape that could be an aerial view with the shadows that are cast on it.